election night, and unfortunately the results didn't turn out like we liked. Council President Alex Mendez was reelected, and I called him this morning to congratulate him. I know he worked hard. I know his people worked hard. Whether I agree with him or disagree with him about the progress of the city, we have to be cordial to each other. We can't make it personal for one another. I'm going to give him the respect of winning. I'm going to give the respect of acknowledging that he worked hard. And now that he's reelected, that he'll get sworn back in, we got to hold him to account. Now, I just want to say thank you to all the people who supported me. This was an incredible journey. I learned so much. I ran for office multiple times now, but I really never learned more than this campaign. I really got to meet people, neighbors and other residents that I never got to know before. That's really the most incredible part. We knocked 16,000 doors, over 16,000 doors in this campaign. That's not a figure I'm making up. I'm not exaggerating. We literally knocked 16,000 doors in this campaign. And I'm incredibly proud of the effort we made. Again, am I disappointed in the result? Yes, I am. I'm not really disappointed. A reporter asked me about this. I'm not really disappointed in the people who showed up and voted and how they voted. I'm really disappointed in the people who didn't vote, who didn't show up to vote. Paterson, there was only 2,400, less than 2,400 people in this ward who voted in yesterday's election. Total. Early vote, vote by mail, day of a vote. Less than 2,400 people in a ward that has about 27,000 people in it, has about over 14,000 registered voters. I'm sorry, that's pathetic. That is a low total. And I'm not saying this to belittle anyone. I'm not saying this to judge anyone. I'm telling folks that I know there's a lot of good folks who live in this city, who work in this city, who work hard, raise their families, try to take care of their homes and their communities, try to keep the streets the way they want. They're doing more than they should be doing. But unfortunately, I feel like they're beat down. Our vote total, not just in municipal elections, but in national and state elections, is lower and lower each year. Paterson is suffering, I think, because people don't feel like they can really, that their voice is really being heard, and I feel that they're beat down. And I understand the frustration of so many. A lot of the decent folk in this city, again, who are working really hard to maintain themselves and their homes and their community, and they feel they're not being heard, and they don't feel that their vote maybe counts or matters, or maybe they're silently protesting. But I got to tell you, I'm in this fight. I ran for this knowing exactly how hard this would be. We basically ran against two incumbents who've been on that council for close to 30 years combined, who both run for mayor multiple times. I knew exactly how hard this would be. And again, I thought a lot more folks would show up to vote. I thought if we knocked all those doors, a lot of folks would show up to vote. What it proves to me is this is going to be a long effort, and it has to be. If I had been elected, nothing would have changed overnight. We would have had to work a long time. And just because I didn't get elected doesn't mean we're going to give up. We got to go back to work. We got to go back to work to talk to folks, to talk to our community. I'm going to stay in the fight. I'm going to continue to talk to folks. I want to hear from you about what you think we should do next, about what we should fight for. It's time. It's time for a better day for Paterson. I continue to believe that people want change in Paterson, but I think the people who want change aren't being heard from. And I think that benefits a certain few. I'm not going to get into names. I'm not going to get into that today. I'm not trying to take away anything from those who won. But I believe that there is those who like the fact that few people are involved in the city in terms of voting, in terms of our municipal system and our municipal elections. And they prefer to keep our city divided as it is among racial lines, among economic lines, and so many other ways. We need to come together as one Paterson to help fight for the things that we care about. Our streets, which are not clean enough, which are not safe enough. Our schools, which are more overcrowded than ever. Our city, which is more densely populated than ever. These are things we've been talking about for a long time. We haven't done enough to solve those issues. We got to keep going to work. I'm going to stay in the fight. I hope you will too. I'm so thankful to everybody who voted for me, for all those I met along the way, for those who supported me, who supported this campaign. Thank you to SEIU 32BJ, which knocked so many doors for me on top of our field team. I'm so grateful for their support, for other unions that were helpful here and that wanted to join the fight. Again, this is our city. We can't give up on it. We got to keep working for it. It might be harder and take longer than we expect, but just because the fight is hard, just because I put my heart and soul in this campaign and I didn't come out on top, doesn't mean the fight wasn't worth having. We got to keep working. We got to keep striving. Together, we're going to make it happen, Paterson. So I'm Assad Akhter, signing off. Last message from this campaign, but not my last message on behalf of Paterson. Thanks so much, and take care. Have a good night.